Have you ever left a conversation feeling completely drained, as if someone just stole your energy? Maybe it's that coworker who always finds a way to criticize you, or a friend who only calls when they need something, or worse, a family member who constantly manipulates you, making you question your own sanity. We all encounter toxic people. They lie, they gossip, they drain our mental strength. And if we don't learn how to handle them, they can poison our peace of mind and control our emotions. But here's the truth. You don't have to let toxic people affect you. The ancient Stoics mastered the art of dealing with negativity. They faced betrayal, cruelty, and even exile, yet remained calm and in control. Their wisdom has stood the test of time, and today, it can help you protect your mental well-being, stay emotionally resilient, and break free from toxicity. In this video, you'll discover 13 powerful Stoic strategies to handle toxic people effectively. You'll learn the single most powerful mindset shift that instantly weakens toxic people's influence over you. How to set unshakable boundaries without feeling guilty. The one response that frustrates manipulators the most. And most importantly, how to reclaim your inner peace, no matter what chaos surrounds you. Stay with me until the end, because the final strategy might just change how you deal with difficult people forever. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The power of indifference. Toxic people feed on your reactions. They thrive on your anger, frustration, and emotional turmoil. The more you engage, the stronger their influence over you becomes. But what if you could take that power away? What if, no matter what they did, they couldn't shake your inner peace? This is where the Stoic principle of indifference comes in. The idea is simple. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control whether you let their actions affect you. The more indifferent you are to their toxicity, the less control they have over you. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that for a moment. The words and actions of toxic people are outside your control, but your response, that's yours to command. When you master this, you no longer react impulsively. You no longer let negativity invade your mind. You remain calm and untouchable. Imagine this. A co-worker constantly criticizes your work. They make snide remarks in meetings, trying to get under your skin. Most people would snap back or feel hurt. But a Stoic? A Stoic simply acknowledges the comment and moves on. No reaction, no emotional investment, just pure indifference. And what happens? The toxic person loses their power. They were hoping for a reaction, but got nothing. This approach isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about choosing where to invest your energy. When you stop feeding toxicity with your attention, it withers away. Indifference is not weakness, it's control. This doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. You still set boundaries. You still protect your peace. But you do it without emotional attachment. You refuse to let their negativity become your burden. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, put it perfectly. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. How often do we replay toxic encounters in our minds? How often do we dwell on insults long after they were spoken? The truth is, most of the pain we feel from toxic people comes not from their words, but from our own attachment to them. So how do you apply this in real life? Start with this simple practice. The next time a toxic person tries to provoke you, pause. Instead of reacting instantly, take a deep breath. In your mind, Repeat, "This is outside my control, but my reaction is mine." And then, say nothing. Or give a neutral, emotionless response. "I see. That's your opinion." Noted. Then, move on. No debate, no explanation, no emotional energy wasted. This simple shift can change everything. You'll notice toxic people losing interest when they can't trigger you. You'll feel lighter, more in control, and emotionally resilient. Over time, their words and actions will become meaningless background noise. And that's the power of indifference. By mastering this, you gain something far greater than just a tactic to deal with difficult people. You gain unshakable inner peace. In the next section, we'll talk about another crucial skill in handling toxicity: setting firm boundaries without guilt or explanation. Stay with me. Number 2. Set clear boundaries. Indifference is powerful, but it's not enough. Sometimes, dealing with toxic people requires more than just ignoring them. It requires drawing a firm line, a boundary that says, "This far and no further." Toxic people don't respect limits. They push, manipulate, and test how much they can get away with. But here's the truth: they only take as much space as you allow. The key to protecting your mental well-being is to set clear boundaries, without feeling guilty, without over-explaining, and without engaging in unnecessary conflict. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." Let that sink in. If someone can invade your peace, it means you haven't drawn the right boundaries. A Stoic doesn't allow external chaos to dictate their inner state. They decide where their limits lie, and they defend them calmly and firmly. Imagine this: a friend constantly dumps their emotional baggage on you, treating you like a therapist. Every conversation is about their problems, their struggles, their negativity, and every time you feel drained. The Stoic response? You don't have to be their emotional sponge. Instead of tolerating endless negativity, set a boundary. "I care about you, but I can't always be the person you vent to." Let's talk about something positive today. This isn't rude, it's self-respect. Or consider a toxic colleague who criticizes you in front of others. You don't need to argue, explain, or justify yourself. A Stoic sets a boundary with a simple, direct response. "If you have feedback, I'd prefer we discuss it privately." No anger, no emotional reaction, just a firm, clear statement. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, reminds us, "Associate only with those who improve you. The presence of good people will help you, and the presence of bad people will harm you." If someone continuously disrespects your boundaries, they are not meant to be in your close circle. Stoicism teaches us that we are not obligated to endure toxic behavior. We are free to step back, limit contact, or even walk away. Setting boundaries isn't just about keeping toxic people in check. It's about protecting your peace, your time, and your mental energy. And when you do this, you'll notice something powerful. People start respecting you more. Those who truly care will understand. Those who don't, they were never meant to stay. Now, here's a challenge. Think of one person in your life who drains your energy. What's one boundary you can set today? Start small. A simple statement, a shift in how much time you give them, or even just saying no without explanation. This is how you take back control. And in the next section, we'll go even deeper, learning how to stop playing the toxic person's game entirely. Stay with me. Number 3, don't play their game. Toxic people have one goal: to pull you into their chaos. They provoke, manipulate, and create drama, hoping you'll react. The moment you engage, you've already lost, because now you're playing by their rules. But a Stoic refuses to participate. They understand that the only way to win is not to play. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Think about that. The best way to defeat a toxic person is not to mirror their negativity. When they insult, you don't insult back. When they try to manipulate, you don't engage. When they create drama, you stay calm. They want a reaction, but you give them nothing. Imagine this. A co-worker constantly undermines you in meetings, making passive-aggressive comments. Most people would argue back, trying to defend themselves. But a Stoic remains composed. Instead of responding emotionally, they say, "Interesting perspective," and then they move on. No anger, no engagement, just indifference. This completely disarms toxic people. They expect resistance. They want to pull you into an argument. But when you don't give them that satisfaction, they lose their power. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, taught, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. That's a hard truth. No one can drag you into their drama unless you allow it. Toxic people may set the trap, but you choose whether to step into it. So how do you apply this in daily life? First, recognize when someone is baiting you. If a toxic person starts an argument, pause. Instead of reacting instantly, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. Instead of arguing, respond with neutrality. I'm not interested in discussing this. You're entitled to your opinion. I have nothing to add. Then, walk away. Change the subject. Refuse to engage, because the moment you detach emotionally, you win. This is not weakness. This is control. You're showing that your peace of mind is not up for negotiation, that no one, no matter how toxic, can dictate your emotions. Seneca wisely said, a wise man is content with his own approval. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to convince anyone. Your peace is more valuable than winning an argument. Now, here's your challenge. The next time a toxic person tries to provoke you, don't play their game. Practice restraint. Respond calmly, or say nothing at all. And in the next section, we'll go even deeper, learning how to master your emotional response and stay unshaken, no matter what comes your way. Stay with me. Number 4, control your emotional response. Toxic people are everywhere. They criticize, manipulate, and provoke. But here's the truth. They only have power over you if you let them. The moment you react emotionally, you give them control. They dictate how you feel, how you respond, how you think. But a Stoic refuses to be controlled. They understand that true strength isn't found in fighting back, but in mastering their own emotions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, wrote, "You shouldn't give circumstances the power to rouse anger, for they don't care at all." Think about that. The situation itself doesn't care how you feel. The toxic person doesn't care about your frustration. So why waste your energy? Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing your response instead of letting others decide it for you. Imagine this. A stranger cuts you off in traffic. Most people honk, yell, or get frustrated. But does that change anything? No. The other driver moves on, and you're the one stuck with anger. You suffer, while they remain unaffected. Now, apply this to toxic people. A manipulative coworker spreads rumors about you. You have two choices: react emotionally and let them win, or stay composed and keep your power. A Stoic takes a deep breath and asks, is my anger useful here? Most of the time, the answer is no. Instead of reacting, they respond with calm, controlled detachment. They refuse to let external chaos dictate their inner state. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, said, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is key. Nothing external can harm you unless you allow it. Someone insults you? It only affects you if you take it personally. Someone tries to manipulate you? It only works if you engage. You are always in control of your reaction. So how do you apply this in real life? First, create a gap between stimulus and response. When someone provokes you, don't react instantly. Pause. Take a breath. Count to 3. This short moment is the difference between reacting impulsively and responding wisely. Next, practice lowering your voice instead of raising it. When a toxic person yells, stay calm. When they try to trigger you, remain indifferent. Your composure frustrates them. They expect drama, but you give them silence. Finally, remind yourself, this moment will pass. Most conflicts feel huge in the moment, but meaningless in hindsight. Don't let temporary emotions create permanent damage. Seneca wisely said, "He who is slow to anger has great understanding." You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to respond to every insult. Instead, choose peace over reaction. Now, here's your challenge. The next time a toxic person tries to push your buttons, don't react. Pause, breathe, observe, and then respond with wisdom, not emotion. In the next section, we'll explore a technique even more powerful: how to become completely unshakable by mastering the grey rock method. Stay with me. Number 5, the grey rock method. Toxic people thrive on drama. They push, provoke, and manipulate just to get a reaction. To them, your emotions are fuel. The more you react, the more power they gain. But what if you became completely uninteresting to them? What if you gave them nothing? This is the essence of the grey rock method. The idea is simple. Be as emotionally unengaging as a dull, lifeless rock. No reactions, no emotional investment, just neutral, predictable responses. When done correctly, toxic people will lose interest in you because without a reaction, they have nothing to feed on. This aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. A toxic person's words can only hurt if you let them. Their actions can only affect you if you react. But when you practice indifference, when you refuse to engage, you become untouchable. Imagine this. A narcissistic coworker constantly tries to provoke you. They make sarcastic remarks, question your competence, and try to push your buttons. A typical response: defending yourself, arguing, showing frustration. But a Stoic response: grey rock. Okay, noted. I see. Nothing more. No explanations, no emotional weight, just neutral, uninterested responses. Over time, they get bored. They move on to someone else who gives them the reaction they crave. This isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about choosing where to direct your energy. Toxic people want engagement. The moment you refuse to give it, they lose control over you. Epictetus wisely said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's exactly what the grey rock method requires. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to explain. You don't need to win. You only need to remain unmoved. How do you apply this? Start with small interactions. If a toxic person starts gossiping, don't engage. Respond with, "I don't know." If they complain endlessly, reply with, "That's unfortunate." If they insult you, simply say, "Interesting," and walk away. No arguments, no justifications, no emotions. This method has huge benefits. First, it protects your mental well-being. You stop feeling drained by negativity. Second, it makes toxic people lose interest in targeting you. Third, it builds emotional resilience. You stop feeling the need to react to every little thing. Now, here's your challenge. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, practice grey rock. Give neutral, short responses, show no emotion, and watch what happens. In the next section, we'll take it a step further, learning how to surround yourself with people who uplift, not drain, your energy. Stay with me. Number 6. Keep your circle strong. Dealing with toxic people isn't just about avoiding negativity, it's about actively surrounding yourself with the right people. The people you let into your life influence your thoughts, emotions, and even your sense of self. A strong circle lifts you up, a weak one pulls you down. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca warned us, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. In other words, your environment shapes you. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, drama, and selfishness, it will inevitably affect you. But if you choose to be around people who are wise, kind, and disciplined, their influence will elevate you. Imagine this. You have two co-workers. One always complains about the job, about life, about everything. The other is solution-focused, always looking for ways to improve. Who do you think has a better mindset? More importantly, who do you think will impact your own perspective over time? The truth is, energy is contagious. Spend enough time with toxic people and their habits will rub off on you. You may start gossiping more. You may become more cynical, more reactive, more drained. But when you surround yourself with strong, positive individuals, you naturally become more resilient, focused, and emotionally stable. Epictetus put it simply, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This doesn't mean cutting off everyone who has flaws. We all have struggles. But it does mean being selective about who gets access to your energy. Not everyone deserves a place in your inner circle. So how do you apply this in real life? First, evaluate your relationships. Ask yourself, who makes me feel drained after I spend time with them? Who encourages me to be my best self? Who only comes to me when they need something? Be honest. The answers will tell you who belongs in your circle and who you need to distance yourself from. Next, set boundaries with those who drain you. You don't have to cut them off completely, but you do need to limit their influence. Reduce how much time you spend with them. Shift conversations away from negativity, and if necessary, step back completely. Finally, seek out people who inspire you. Find those who challenge you to grow, who support your goals, who make you feel lighter, not heavier. If you don't have these people yet, start looking. Join communities, read books by great thinkers, and expose yourself to voices that uplift, not drag you down. Because at the end of the day, your circle is your foundation. A strong circle makes life easier. A weak one makes it harder. Choose wisely. Now, here's your challenge. Identify one person in your life who drains you and take a step today to set a boundary. And then think of one person who inspires you. Reach out to them. Spend more time learning from them. In the next section, we'll go deeper, learning when to walk away completely and reclaim your peace. Stay with me. Number 7. Master the art of walking away. There are times when setting boundaries isn't enough, when reasoning with someone isn't possible, when no amount of patience or self-control can change the fact that this person is toxic to your life. In these moments, the strongest move you can make is the simplest one. Walk away. The Stoics understood this well. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every relationship deserves your energy. And most importantly, not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Epictetus reminds us, if someone is harming your soul, walk away. You owe nothing to those who destroy your peace. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the ability to recognize when a situation is no longer serving your growth. When dealing with a toxic person becomes more about survival than connection, that's your signal. Think about this. If you were holding on to a burning rope, would you keep holding on just because you've already endured the pain? Or would you let go to stop the damage? Many people stay in toxic relationships, toxic friendships, and toxic environments because they feel obligated. They think leaving means failure, but choosing your well-being is never failure. Imagine you have a friend who constantly criticizes you. Every interaction leaves you feeling worse about yourself. You've tried to talk to them. You've tried setting boundaries, but nothing changes. At some point, the healthiest option is to leave. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you always have the option of having no opinion. There is never a need to trouble yourself, to disturb your peace. This applies to people too. You always have the option to walk away. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify it. You simply choose peace over conflict. So how do you apply this? First, recognize when a situation is beyond fixing. Ask yourself, am I constantly defending myself in this relationship? Does this person make me feel anxious, drained, or unworthy? Have I tried to set boundaries, but they keep pushing them? If the answer is yes, then walking away isn't losing. It's winning back your peace. Next, step away without guilt. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your well-being. If necessary, you can simply say, I need to focus on my peace right now. This dynamic isn't working for me anymore. I'm choosing to move forward in a different direction. No arguments, no debates, just a quiet, confident exit. The benefits? Your mind becomes lighter. Your stress levels decrease. You finally have space for people who bring positivity, not negativity. Seneca wisely said, throw aside empty hope and fear. If you want to be truly free, let go. Now, here's your challenge. Identify one relationship or environment in your life that is draining you more than it is serving you. What is one small step you can take today to distance yourself? It doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as spending less time saying no or mentally detaching. Because sometimes the greatest act of strength is not in holding on, but in knowing when to let go. And in the next section, we'll explore how to stop expecting toxic people to change and how this mindset shift will free you. Stay with me. Number 8. Don't expect toxic people to change. One of the greatest sources of frustration is expecting people to be different from who they are. We hope that a toxic person will finally see reason, that they'll change their ways, that they'll become self-aware. But time and time again, we're met with the same behavior, the same manipulation, the same negativity, the same emotional drain. The truth? Most toxic people will never change, and the sooner you accept this, the freer you become. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control how someone else behaves. You can't force someone to be kind, honest, or emotionally mature. You can't make a narcissist suddenly become self-reflective. But what you can control is your own expectations. The moment you stop hoping for someone to change, you release yourself from unnecessary suffering. Imagine this. You have a family member who constantly criticizes you. Every time you visit, they make passive-aggressive comments, question your choices, and undermine your confidence. Each time you think, maybe this time will be different, but it never is. You leave feeling frustrated, drained and disappointed. But now, imagine if you walked into that interaction expecting nothing. No hope for a different response. No illusion that they'll suddenly become supportive. Instead, you simply accept them for who they are, flawed, unchanging, and outside your control. What happens? Their words lose power. Their negativity doesn't surprise you. You don't waste energy trying to change them. Instead, you focus on what you can control, your response, your boundaries, your peace of mind. Epictetus taught, when someone behaves badly, remember, they act according to their own principles, not yours. Do not be surprised. This mindset shift is liberating. Instead of engaging in endless battles, trying to make someone see your perspective, you simply detach. You stop trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. You stop expecting emotional maturity from someone who has never demonstrated it. And in doing so, you take back your power. So how do you apply this in real life? First, identify the people in your life who repeatedly disappoint you. Ask yourself, am I expecting them to act differently than they ever have? Am I giving them chance after chance despite clear patterns? Am I holding on to hope that they will become someone they're not? If the answer is yes, it's time to shift your mindset. Next, accept them as they are, but adjust your expectations. This doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It simply means you stop expecting anything different. When they act toxic, you're not surprised. When they try to manipulate, you see it for what it is. You stop fighting a battle that can't be won. Finally, decide how much access they get to you. Just because you accept who they are doesn't mean you have to tolerate them. You can limit your time, set firm boundaries, or walk away entirely, but you do it without emotional baggage, without anger, without false hope. Seneca reminds us, the greatest wealth is a peaceful mind, and that peace starts when you stop expecting toxic people to be anything other than what they have always been. Now, here's your challenge. Think of one person you've been hoping would change. What would happen if you simply stopped expecting them to? How much stress would you release? In the next section, we'll explore how to use silence as a powerful tool to disarm toxicity. Stay with me. Number 9. Use strategic silence. Toxic people crave attention. They thrive on arguments, manipulation, and emotional reactions. The more you engage, the more fuel you give them. But what happens when you respond with silence? They lose power. Strategic silence is one of the most powerful Stoic tools for handling negativity. It's not about avoiding conversations or suppressing thoughts. It's about choosing when to speak and when to let silence do the work. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best answer to anger is silence. When you refuse to engage in toxic interactions, you shift the balance of power. You make it clear that their words and actions do not deserve your energy, and that alone frustrates them more than any argument ever could. Imagine this. A toxic co-worker tries to start an argument. They make a rude comment, expecting you to react. Most people would fire back, defending themselves, escalating the situation. But a Stoic? They pause, say nothing, and simply walk away. The result? The toxic person is left talking to themselves. They expected a battle, but you denied them the opportunity. Silence is not weakness, it's control. Epictetus teaches us, if someone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself against their accusations. Simply reply, you don't know the half of it, and walk away. This is the essence of strategic silence. You don't need to justify yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to win arguments with those who aren't listening. You don't need to explain your boundaries to those who repeatedly cross them. So how do you apply this in daily life? First, Identify situations where silence is the best response. When someone tries to provoke you, when they insult you, when they twist your words, pause. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. Next, use short, neutral responses. You don't have to remain completely silent. But instead of engaging in conflict, respond with, "Okay, noted," a simple nod and a shift in attention. This keeps you in control while denying them the reaction they seek. Finally, master the art of walking away. If someone continues to push, simply remove yourself. No explanation, no argument, just a quiet, confident exit. Your peace is worth more than their drama. The benefits? Less stress, more emotional control, a stronger sense of self. You'll notice that the more you use strategic silence, the more toxic people lose interest in targeting you. They move on to someone who will play their game. Seneca wisely said, "As long as we are among humans, let us be humane. But when faced with senseless people, let us be silent." Now, here's your challenge. The next time someone tries to drag you into negativity, pause, say nothing, or give a neutral response, and walk away. See what happens. In the next section, we'll go deeper into why you must detach from seeking validation and how it frees you from the influence of toxic people. Stay with me. Number 10. Detach from the need for validation. One of the greatest traps in life is seeking validation from the wrong people. Toxic individuals manipulate by attacking your self-worth. They criticize, mock, or withhold approval, knowing that if you depend on their validation, they can control you. But the moment you stop seeking their approval, you break free. A Stoic understands this deeply. Your value is not defined by others. Your self-worth does not depend on external opinions. The more detached you become from validation, the more emotionally resilient you are. Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This is profound. It means that true strength comes from not caring how others perceive you. People will judge you, misunderstand you, and project their insecurities onto you, but their opinions are theirs, not yours. Let them think what they want. Your peace is more important. Imagine this. You're in a meeting and a toxic co-worker dismisses your ideas. In the past, you would have felt the need to explain yourself, to prove your worth, to seek their approval. But now, you simply nod and move on. You don't need their validation. You know your value, regardless of their opinion. This mindset shift is liberating. It removes the power toxic people have over you. When you no longer need their approval, they can no longer control you. Seneca teaches us, he who follows the crowd will go no further than the crowd. But he who walks alone may find himself in places no one has ever been. This is key. The desire for approval keeps you trapped. It keeps you chasing opinions that don't matter. But when you let go of that need, you gain something greater, freedom. So how do you apply this? First, recognize when you're seeking validation. Ask yourself, am I worried about what this person thinks of me? Do I feel the need to explain myself? Am I changing my actions just to gain approval? If the answer is yes, pause. Remind yourself, their opinion is not my reality. Next, practice indifference. When someone criticizes you, you don't need to react. When someone doubts you, you don't need to convince them. Instead, try this response. That's your perspective. I understand your view. Or simply say nothing at all. Finally, affirm your own self-worth. The more secure you are in yourself, the less validation you need. Trust your own judgment. Define your own success. Approve of yourself. The result? Less stress, more confidence. a mind free from unnecessary worry. When you stop seeking approval, you stop being controlled. You become unshakable. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the opinions of others are not your concern. What matters is how you see yourself. Now, here's your challenge. The next time someone criticizes you, don't react. Don't explain. Don't seek approval. Instead, simply let it pass. Feel the freedom of detachment. In the next section, we'll explore how humor can be a powerful tool to disarm toxic people and protect your peace. Stay with me. Number 11. Use humor to disarm. Toxic people thrive on conflict. They expect anger, frustration, or defensiveness. But what happens when you don't react the way they expect? What happens when instead of fighting back, you respond with humor? They lose control. Stoics understood that humor is one of the most powerful weapons against negativity. It diffuses tension, exposes absurdity, and most importantly, keeps you in control of your emotions. Instead of engaging in toxic energy, you rise above it. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Laugh at the absurdity of life, and you will suffer less. Toxic people try to provoke you because they want a reaction. They want to pull you into their negativity. But humor turns the tables. It flips the power dynamic. Instead of being pulled down into their drama, you stay light, untouchable, and in control. Imagine this. A co-worker constantly mocks your work in front of others. A typical response? Defensiveness, justification, an argument. But a Stoic response? Humor. You smile and say, "Wow, I had no idea you were such a fan of my work. Should I start charging you for all this attention?" What happens next? The room shifts. The power shifts. Instead of letting them control the narrative, you control the energy. Or picture this. A family member criticizes your choices, saying, "You're never going to succeed with that mindset." Instead of arguing, you laugh and say, "Guess we'll find out. Maybe I'll surprise both of us." No anger, no frustration, just a light-hearted response that disarms the attack. Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Humor is a choice. It's a tool. And when used strategically, it can completely change the way you deal with negativity. So how do you apply this in real life? First, don't take toxic people seriously. Their words only have power if you give them power. Instead of getting upset, remind yourself, this is just noise, nothing more. Next, use humor as a shield, not a weapon. The goal isn't to humiliate or escalate. The goal is to neutralize tension. Keep it light, keep it playful, show that you're unaffected. Finally, practice detachment. If someone insults you, don't own the insult. Laugh at the absurdity of it instead. Toxic people expect seriousness. Give them humor instead. The result? Less stress, more control. A mindset that remains unshaken. Toxic people hate humor because it shows you don't take them seriously, and that means they can't control you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you always have the power of choice. No one can take that from you. Now, here's your challenge. The next time a toxic person tries to bring you down, use humor instead of anger. Smile. Say something light. Watch how quickly they lose their grip on the situation. In the next section, we'll explore how prioritizing your mental well-being can help you build an unbreakable inner peace. Stay with me. Number 12. Prioritize your mental well-being. At the core of Stoicism is one simple truth. You cannot control others, but you can control yourself. And this includes how you protect your mental and emotional well-being. Toxic people will try to invade your peace. They will test your patience, drain your energy, and attempt to pull you into their chaos. But the moment you start putting yourself first, you take back control. You reclaim your power. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free from interruptions than your own soul. Your mind is your sanctuary. If you don't protect it, no one else will. If you allow toxic people to consume your thoughts, your time, and your emotions, you give them power over you. But when you prioritize your peace above external noise, you create an unbreakable mental fortress. Imagine this. A friend constantly brings drama into your life. Every conversation is a complaint, a crisis, a demand for your attention. You listen, you support, but over time you start to feel exhausted. You realize that their problems are endless, and that their negativity is now affecting your own well-being. A Stoic understands that this is not selfishness, this is self-preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you constantly sacrifice your peace for others, soon you'll have nothing left to give. Seneca warns us, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Your time and mental energy are your most valuable resources. Protect them. Choose carefully where you invest them. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. So how do you apply this in daily life? First, recognize the people and situations that drain you. Ask yourself, who do I feel exhausted around? What conversations leave me anxious or unsettled? What activities bring me stress instead of peace? Then, adjust your priorities. Make peace your standard. If something disturbs your mind, reduce your exposure. If someone constantly brings negativity, limit your time with them. If a situation is affecting your happiness, step back. This doesn't mean avoiding responsibility. It means choosing where your energy goes. A Stoic does not waste time on things they cannot change. Instead, they focus on what they can control, their reactions, their mindset, and their emotional state. Finally, build habits that strengthen your inner peace. Daily reflection, time in nature, reading, meditation. A simple practice of quiet solitude to reconnect with yourself. The more you cultivate inner calm, the less external chaos will shake you. The result? Less stress, more control. A mind that remains unshaken no matter what happens around you. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the control over oneself. Do not let others steal it from you. Now, here's your challenge. Identify one thing that is disturbing your peace. A person, a habit, a thought pattern. And today, take one step to protect yourself from it. Even if it's small, even if it's just a boundary, choose your well-being first. In the next section, we'll explore the final and most powerful lesson, why choosing peace over winning is the ultimate act of strength. Stay with me. Number 13. Choose peace over winning. In every conflict, there's a choice. Do you fight to prove you're right, or do you walk away for the sake of your peace? Toxic people want you to engage. They want you to defend yourself, argue, prove your point, because the moment you do, they have you. They've pulled you into their energy. They've forced you into a battle that isn't worth fighting. But what if you didn't play the game? What if instead of fighting to win, you simply chose peace? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you always have the option of having no opinion. This is powerful. It means that you don't have to argue. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to prove anything. Sometimes, the strongest move is to simply let it go. Think about this. You're in a conversation, and someone is clearly trying to provoke you. Maybe they insult your intelligence, challenge your beliefs, or try to make you feel small. Your instinct? Fight back, prove them wrong, win. But what does winning really mean? Is it proving a toxic person wrong? Or is it walking away without letting them disturb your peace? A Stoic understands that not every battle is worth fighting, that protecting your peace is more valuable than proving a point, that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Seneca wisely said, "The greatest victory is to conquer oneself." Winning isn't about defeating others, it's about mastering your own emotions. When you can hear an insult and not react, when you can be misunderstood and not rush to defend yourself, when you can walk away from conflict without feeling the need to win, that is real strength. So how do you apply this in your daily life? First, ask yourself, what am I really trying to win? If the answer is approval, validation, or proving someone wrong, take a step back. Remind yourself, I don't need to win this argument to be at peace. Next, pause before reacting. When someone tries to provoke you, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, let it go. Finally, practice walking away, not in anger, not in frustration, just in calm, quiet confidence. Whether it's a toxic debate, a manipulative conversation, or a petty argument, choose peace instead. The result? Less stress, more control, a mind that remains unshaken. When you stop trying to win, you actually win. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the ability to live as one wishes, without being disturbed by others. Now, here's your challenge. The next time someone tries to pull you into conflict, choose peace instead. Walk away. Say nothing. Watch how powerful that feels. And remember, your peace is worth more than proving a point. You now have 13 powerful Stoic strategies to deal with toxic people. You've learned how to stay indifferent to their negativity, set firm boundaries, refuse to play their game, and master emotional control. You've seen how silence, humor, and detachment can neutralize their influence. And most importantly, you've discovered that your peace of mind is your greatest asset. The key lesson: you are in control. Not them, not their words, not their actions, only you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Toxic people don't have the power to disturb you unless you let them. By choosing peace over conflict, by focusing on your inner world instead of external chaos, you become untouchable. Now, it's time to apply these lessons. Which strategy will you start using today? Maybe you'll set a long overdue boundary. Maybe you'll stop expecting toxic people to change. Or maybe, for the first time, you'll walk away without guilt. Whatever it is, start now. Growth begins with action. And remember, true strength isn't about fighting every battle. It's about knowing which battles are beneath you. It's about choosing your peace over the need to be right. If this video helped you, like and subscribe for more Stoic insights. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. What's the biggest lesson you're taking away? This is Stoic Teachings Today. Stay strong, stay grounded, and always protect your peace.